Welcome everyone back to weekly weather updates, and in today's video we're going to have a look at the latest on the heatwave that will be continuing for many areas throughout the rest of this working week. We'll have a look at the risk of thunderstorms, which are diminishing for most regions but still continuing in the far north and west through parts of Scotland, the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland. We'll have a look at all the various precipitation charts, warnings as well, as we still do have thunderstorms warnings, and we'll also have a look at more detailed look at the longer range to see what is going to unfold for the middle third into the last third of June. We'll also have a look at the temperatures, really focusing on that today, because as I have stated over the last few videos, 13th of June today is the only day of meteorological summer that we've never reached 30 degrees, and it's looking highly likely that we will beat that today. The latest observations have us at 29.9 degrees, so it's highly likely we have reached that 30 degree mark, but we'll have a look at the latest data to see how close right now. So do remember, if you enjoy videos, make sure you like and subscribe, and remember to follow me on Twitter as well, the link's in the description. So do start on the live radar, recording this around 2:30, and you can see we have got thunderstorms breaking out across the far north of Scotland towards Inverness, and a few areas of rain and thundery weather towards the west of Northern Ireland and northwest Republic of Ireland, and through central parts of the Republic of Ireland too. Some big cells are breaking out, nothing too crazy, but where these do occur, you will know about it. Now, we did see big thunderstorms yesterday, and I did say it was one of the biggest forecasting risks I've ever seen for thunderstorms through parts of England and Wales, and it did come to fruition. We saw some crazy rainfall rates in many regions. I actually got caught out one of the thunderstorms, and it was some of the heaviest rain that I've ever seen, absolutely biblical, flooding the land within 5 or 10 minutes. I estimate about half an inch of rain fell in about 10 or 15 minutes. So we saw big rain yesterday, and just as I predicted, we did see snap amber warnings issued for large portions of western England, transferring up into the northwest of England as well. And again, I've had my gripes with these amber warnings issued, as the point of a warning is to warn people in advance. It's not to tell something is happening when they can look outside the window and see that it is happening. So I am quite frustrated that we didn't see those amber warnings issued further in advance. Didn't put a video out for it, because by the time I recorded the video, uploaded the video, most likely the amber warning would have moved or would have been outdated, and that is exactly what happened. We saw warnings issued at 5 p.m. expiring at 7 p.m. and warnings issued at 7 p.m. expiring at 10 p.m. I just don't understand why these warnings weren't issued in advance when we all looked at the model data and said there is a high chance of severe thunderstorms, not a guaranteed chance. It's almost as the Met Office only issued the amber warning once the thunderstorms had formed and they could see that they were tracking that direction. But even convective weather that we had a look at had a very high risk, and all the models were showing intense thunderstorms, and that's exactly what we saw. But once again, we saw the Met Office delay the warnings, with most people getting impacted by these big thunderstorms. Saw many images of flooding across many parts of central, western and northern England, and the Met Office issued the amber warning just as it was happening, and I don't really see the point of that. Sorry again for ranting about that, but it does frustrate me. The warning system is in place to warn people in advance of an event, not tell them something is happening as it is unfolding, as it is happening outside their window. So hopefully we do see warnings issued, at least amber warnings issued more in advance, because yellow warnings can be issued for an event like yesterday, or could be issued for just a scattering of thunderstorms. Yellow's warnings are such a wide array. Yesterday definitely warranted an amber warning in advance, at least 12 to 24 hours in advance. Instead, we saw it 5 minutes in advance. But we're not looking at any more amber warnings, at least for the foreseeable future, only potentially yellow warnings like we have issued today. So we've got the thunderstorms in the north and the west at the moment. And if you put on the temperatures, again, you can see in a very hot day where we escaped those thunderstorms. Yesterday only actually saw temperatures reaching 28 or 29 degrees, and that's because of the widespread thunderstorms and associated cloud with that huge overshooting tops. Similar to what we saw on Saturday as well, we saw another amber warning issued, huge overshooting tops that covered most of England and Wales. Again, even if you're not impacted by the rain or the thundery weather, you do get that thick cloud holding back the sun and reducing those temperatures a bit. So yesterday wasn't as hot, but still reach heatwave thresholds, which are around 25 to 28 degrees depending on your region. But as I said, today, likely to reach that 30-degree mark somewhere in southern England. You can see these dark reds appearing, likely to be reaching 30 degrees right at this moment. But if we do go over to the latest 25 top temperatures, you'll be able to see we are just on the periphery of that at the moment. I just want to finish by looking at the rainfall, last 24 hours rainfall, to see where those big thunderstorms affected us yesterday, and you can see it through spawning in the London area. Big thunderstorms seen here, and then slowly spreading northwards and westwards. Every single one of these yellow dots is where one of the intense cells went through. We saw an inch or two of rain causing flooding problems. Luckily, these regions shouldn't see too much more rainfall over the coming days as that thunderstorm risk does diminish. But once again, forecasting exactly where we thought thunderstorms would occur, exactly where the convective weather thought the thunderstorms would occur. So again, another pretty successful thunderstorm forecast here. Just hopefully we see an amber warning. If we see a similar event like this, an amber warning isn't issued further in advance. But if we do have a look at the max temperatures for today, you can see we have already reached 29.9 degrees at 2 p.m. And widely 28 to 29, so definitely by 3 or 4 p.m. I'm thinking we will reach 30 degrees. And again, these are not all the official weather stations. These are just a selection that NetWeather have access to. So we have most likely reached 30 degrees. So we will just have to see what the exact number does come out to later on. But it's looking highly likely we do break the 13th of June temperature record and mean that every single day in meteorological summer from the 1st of June to the 31st of August does have a 30 degrees on that day. Now, if you go over to the weather warnings, we do have yellow thunderstorm warnings issued. Again, no warnings issued for the Republic of Ireland. Met Office only cover the United Kingdom, but I suspect there are still big thunderstorms through the Republic of Ireland. Through western parts of Northern Ireland and northwest of Scotland, we got one warning from midday today until 9 p.m. tomorrow. Again, we had a look at this in detail in yesterday's video, but it has been updated. The warning area across Scotland has been moved northwards into a greater portion of the Highlands, whilst area across Northern Ireland has been trimmed across central regions. Interestingly, the thunderstorms out right now are just to the south of Inverness, not actually in the warning area. Again, just highlighting the difficulty of the exact positioning here. But thunderstorms will continue to break out in these regions, as we have seen over the past few days. They can explode very quickly. On Saturday, I remember looking at the live radar about 2 p.m, and we were well behind what a lot of the precipitation charts were thinking. But those thunderstorms within an hour or two just exploded out of nowhere. So we're likely to see something similar to that over the coming hours. Again, not as great a risk, but still substantial risk for these regions over the coming hours and the coming days, as these are the areas which will see the thunderstorm risk more than areas further eastwards and southwards, because high pressure is starting to build back in. But if you just look at the further details, again, 20 to 30 millimetres may fall in an hour, maybe 40 to 50 millimetres, frequent lightning and hail of 2 to 3 centimetres in diameter, additional hazards. Again, big cape levels where thunderstorms do occur, they will be quite large, high impact, low likelihood. If we go over to convective weather once again, we do have quite widespread convective outlook here, mainly though in northern and western regions. Only a low warning for western parts of England, southwest England and Wales. Again, there's a lot of cape around, but there's not a lot of spark out there, and the cap is quite strong today in those regions. Got a very dry area of air. Again, if you want to know about this in more detail, do have a look at their paragraph again. But as you can see here, but very dry air through most of the troposphere. Even though there's a lot of cape, there's very dry air through most of the troposphere, and that's going to stop those thunderstorms occurring. But we'll have a look at the WRF run, and you can see how there is quite a bit of cape around, but no thunderstorms for England and Wales today, really. But it's through northern areas and western areas, again, a moderate risk and quite a widespread area of the potential for severe thunderstorms, and we'll just have to see what unfolds over the coming hours. As I repeatedly say, best way to know is just to have a look at the live radar to see where thunderstorms, if they're on their way, and of course to have a look out your window as well, as it is very apparent when one of these cumulonimbus clouds is building, as areas that are escaping the thunderstorms pretty much have clear blue skies. So very obvious when one of these thunderstorms is building. So do make sure you either have a look at the radar or look out your window. Is the best way to know when something is heading your way. If you do now go over to the UKV and have a look at the precipitation and the temperature over the next 5 days, as we'll be continuing the heatwave conditions for many. Still have a bit of risk of rain in the north and west, but again, it is anywhere near as severe as the thunderstorms have been earlier over the past few days, but still risk is there. You can see the diminishing thunderstorms, the thunderstorms, decaying thunderstorms that we saw through England and Wales through the early hours, spreading through earlier this morning, and through this afternoon again, seeing thunderstorms breaking out across northwest Scotland, parts of the Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland. Again, scattered thunderstorms still could be severe, but we're not expecting any mesoscale convective systems (NCS) that we have seen over the past few days. So one on Saturday, one on Monday through the West Midlands. Again, not expecting any big systems like that producing multiple thunderstorm cells. Expecting scattered thunderstorms maybe lining up at times, but nothing too out of the ordinary for summer months. As we progress into Wednesday, again likely to see a few thunderstorms breaking out across the far southwest of the Republic of Ireland, but again, no warnings in force for this, and unlikely to see any warnings in force. Most regions very warm and very dry. As we head into Thursday, there is the risk again of a few thundery showers in the west, maybe spreading more into the West Midlands, southwest England here, but once again, nothing too crazy. Into Friday, again, a bit more risk of thunderstorms in the west, again, likely to probably see a yellow warning issued for this. So there's quite a substantial widespread risk, but we're still good 3 or 4 days away, so we'll just have to see how it does develop. But again, a big thundery risk there. And then into Saturday, again, more widespread showers and a few thunderstorms further westwards. But you can see not as many darker reds appearing here, apart from a few of those through northern parts of the Republic of Ireland and Northern Ireland, where we probably have some higher levels of Cape. Most of these more just heavy showers before we head into the weekend. So you can see for most areas, it's going to be very dry over the coming days, apart from the northern and western regions. Again, even there, scattered thunderstorms. And those temperatures will remain very high. The 850 HPA temperatures is dropping, though, over the coming days. So it will mean temperatures won't be low 30s like they've been in some regions recently, more likely mid to high 20s. So if you have not enjoyed the oppressive heat, it will be getting a little bit better. We can almost see that resembled on the dew points as well. Dew points dropping. Even if you have a look at Thursday, you can see dew points much lower, still muggy through parts of the Republic of Ireland. That's where we see the thunderstorms breaking out again, correlating with the hot and humid air. Further eastwards, though, drier dew points, meaning it's not going to be quite as oppressive, more of a comfortable heat out there, said with those temperatures still in the mid to high 20s. If you look at the max temperatures, again today, UKV showing 30 degrees across southern regions, maybe up to northwest as well, towards the Liverpool area. So again, I think it's highly likely we do reach 30 degrees, but we'll have to confirm it later this evening. I'm sure the Met Office will be on that with their stats. As we head into Wednesday, again, another reasonably hot day, but temperatures only peaking at sort of 26 to 28. Again, likely hitting heatwave thresholds in many regions and continuing this heatwave for another few days. Again, it will be touch and go exactly in sort of eastern England where the threshold is 28 degrees, including the London area, but still generally there or thereabouts for heatwave to continue. But still, it's very hot, still 25 to 28 degrees. Thursday, very similar, again peaking at 26 to 28, widely that's sort of 25, 26, and again, a more comfortable warmth out there than it's been recently. And then finally into Friday, once again, 26 to 28 the top temperature, low to mid-20s elsewhere, and Saturday, another generally warm, hot day, 28, 29, or peaking at 30 perhaps. Once again, mid to high 20s, looking quite widespread. So it is cooling down slightly by a few degrees in most regions, but it's going to be much sunnier. We're going to see much lower risk of thunderstorms through most areas of England and Wales, and even most parts of Scotland, Republic of Ireland, and Northern Ireland will be generally dry as well. So a much drier, more of a pleasant heat out there this upcoming working week into the weekend as well. But as we'll see on some of the longer range charts in a minute, there is the risk that we do go hotter but more unsettled as well, potentially bringing a really thundery last third to June once again, similar to what we've had over the last few days. But we'll have a look at that in a minute when we look at the longer range charts. If you just have a look at the WRF, just to go through the thunderstorm risk here, so we do want to start have a look at this, as we do have a risk in the west. You can see there are high levels of Cape through parts of England and Wales today, but we're not seeing any thunderstorms breaking out. As I said, there is a big area of dry air, which stops any thunderstorm breakouts. But you can see from northern and west areas still high levels of Cape. That will continue into Wednesday through the far southwest of Republic of Ireland, and later in the week there will be some moderate levels of Cape, but not quite as high as we do move through this working week. If you look at the precipitation, here again through this afternoon, thunderstorms in the north and the west. Again, a few isolated showers here through southern England, perhaps around the 5 or 6 p.m. point. Again, light showers, probably breaking out, but unable to break through the cap really to make any major showers. So it could be a few areas of thicker cloud and rainfall there, but again, nothing too substantial. Into Wednesday, again, a few thunderstorms breaking out through the far southwest of the Republic of Ireland and could be very slow moving, so could see localised issues there. And as we continue later in the week, could be some more heavy thundery showers through the Republic of Ireland as well. So it seems like the Republic of Ireland have had the best weather really over the past couple of weeks, been bone dry. And with that easterly flow we had through the end of May and start of June, eastern parts of England really did suffer a little bit from that cool, cloudy weather. We have then seen thunderstorms breaking out through many parts of England, Wales and the Republic of Ireland have remained very hot and very dry. No rainfall for a number of weeks, but now it looks like the Republic of Ireland is going to be getting the thundery weather and areas further eastwards are going to be getting the drier weather. Just shows you how the weather does go around in roundabouts, and we do see things sort of oscillating. And I'm sure the Republic of Ireland will see some very dry weather in the near future, and England and Wales will be going thundery and rainy once again. But we'll just have to see what happens over the coming days and weeks. If you have a look at the longer range now and have a look at how the next few weeks will evolve, you can see high pressure is building in at the moment, building more in than it's been recently, and that's why it's going to be drier further eastwards. But low pressure tries to push in by next weekend, sliding up the country. Now, I'm not going to show the precipitation charts for this, as they have been very interesting the last few runs, but showing a substantial area of rain with this developing low pressure system. Seeing rainfall totals hitting 50 millimetres widely from some of these runs. Again, we look at the accumulated precipitation chart here. You can see the rainfall really accumulating in the space of 24 hours there, from very low amounts to very high purple amounts there. And again, showing a huge area of rain enveloping most of the British Isles by sort of Sunday, Monday time. But the big caveat with that is how it does develop. It's still a number of days away, and it's all because low pressure collides with some hot air getting wrapped around within it. And this is why I said the lines we head into the last third of June, it could be still pretty hot, but could go very unsettled. And we see this pattern continuing. Low pressure trying to slide in off the Atlantic, but high pressure continues to dominate, and all the way to 384 hours, which you do continue to see the high pressure dominate. And we do see generally pretty warm, if not hot conditions. If you compare to the GM, see how that does compare. Again, high pressure continuing to dominate over the coming days. Low pressure running in off the Atlantic, and again, could give that very unsettled conditions next week as that low slides in, delaying it a little bit more towards Tuesday, Wednesday time, but nevertheless very unsettled, but equally hot as we do draw up a southerly flow. If you look at the upper air temperatures, very warm upper air temperatures moving up from the south, as hot as they've been recently, if not slightly hotter. Could be a very thundery but equally very hot spell of weather. And again, you can see all these darker blues spiraling up from the southwest, big areas of rain, but equally very muggy and very warm. To keep a very close eye on this as we head into next week. Keeping us hot, keeping us very warm. Where we see sunshine could reach 30 degrees, but with a lot of rain and cloud around, it could be very, very interesting, thundery sort of conditions if we did see this come off. If I look at the ECMWF, see if it goes for something similar. Again, high pressure dominating over the coming days. Low pressure slowly sliding in from the west into the weekend and start of next week. And moving up northwards. Not quite dominating as much as the other runs do, but still our low pressure very close by. Drawing up a very warm southerly wind, 10 to 15 degrees at 850 HPA, before eventually bringing in more low pressure in off the Atlantic. And you can look at the accumulated precipitation here, definitely showing a lot of rain in the west, not as much further eastwards as that low pressure sits more out in the Atlantic. You can see the big rainfall here, warm air getting caught up in low pressure systems is a recipe for a lot of rainfall, and that's what we're seeing from the ECMWF here. We just have to see the exact positioning as we head into next week. So it's looking likely the warm, hot weather is not going anywhere, but could the widely, generally dry conditions when you take out the thunderstorms, will that continue? Looking quite unlikely from some of these main operational runs today. If If we finish by looking at the ensembles, look at the latest GFS ensembles, you can see the next sort of 5-6 days are dry and generally pretty warm, if not quite hot. Upper air temperatures are still well above average, but they are slowly dipping over the coming days. Still likely to be hot at the surface simply because we've got quite warm air trapped. As I said, settled, sunny conditions always going to produce something warm this time of year. Upper air temperatures do start to rise as we head into next week, up towards 13, 14 degrees, maybe even higher into the longer term, and remain well above average all the way to the end of June, but precipitation does pick up quite considerably as well, so it could be, as I said, very unsettled but very warm. The 2 meter temperatures are going to be very nice, widely mid-20s, 25 degrees consistently over the coming days. Again, these are midday and 6 p.m. temperatures, not the 3 p.m. temperatures, likely to be a few degrees warmer, and ensemble members generally do underdo it. Dew point as well is lowering over the next few days, again indicative of some slightly drier, slightly more pleasant warmth, but rising slowly in towards the early part of next week, back up into the low teens, so not quite as oppressive as now, but again, still a little bit more hot and humid. And if we do finish by looking at the ECMWF ensembles, see if they do have a very similar pattern, again, very similar. Slightly cooler this week, but still generally warm, generally hot, for rising higher once again towards the weekend and the start of next week, but precipitation really ramping up as well, with temperatures staying above average. So looking hot and very unsettled as we do head into next week. Could be some considerable areas of rainfall around. Again, we'll have to keep a very close eye on this, but if your garden or anything you own needs a bit of rainfall, and it's looking likely from these latest charts that might not be great the next 5 days, might see some very dry conditions for many, but rain could be making a real comeback widely, not just in thunderstorms that are very hit and miss, but widely in big chunky areas of rain as we head into next week. So anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you have enjoyed. Make sure you stay safe out there in any thunderstorms if you are in the north and west, and of course stay safe in the heat out there. Make sure you stay hydrated, sunscreen on as well. Again, the sun, it doesn't matter what the temperature is as we head into June, the sun is at the strongest point it does get in the United Kingdom, so do stay safe out there, wear your sun cream. And of course, if you're looking forward to something a little bit cooler, then this week should be a little bit better, less oppressive. If you're looking forward to some rainfall as we head into next week, maybe Monday, Tuesday time is looking a bit more encouraging for some widespread rain, some frontal rain with that as well. So we'll have to see what happens. Make sure you stay tuned and keep up to date with any of the weather warnings as well over the coming days. So as I said, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new, and I'll see you again for another video soon.